hasn't started yet. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast on For the Faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Welcome, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing tonight? Still faithful?
Of course. Takes a lot more than that, Bruce, as you know. Takes a lot
aware.
to budget. We've been through entire, we've been through seasons where there's been 15 to 20 games like that. Okay, not just one game out of 10. It's what I always refer to as a stinker game. Mm-hmm. And every team, even really good teams, have stinker games. So has there been one before this? The Oilers have put up a stinker game?
No, I mean, they lost in Chicago with 3-1 on an empty net goal, and they made it close, and they were at least still fighting as it got down to the end of the game. This game was never in doubt, and they played poorly right out of the gate, and even though it was 0-0 for a while, and then Minnesota got 1-2-3, and then that was it. The score just stayed locked on 3-0, and the Oilers never really generated any kind of pushback, really, at any time in the game, did they?
They did not. They were outchanced, Bruce, 14-3 on grade A chances. 14-3 on grade A chances. So three. You'll never. I don't know if I've ever, since we've started recording chances, if a team's ever won with just 3 chances.
1? No chance.
I know that many teams you almost always lose when you let it 14. So it was like a double whammy. This was just a horrendous, actually, effort by the Oilers. It was as rancid as it gets. So we're going to try to do the 2 good things, and we do have our 2 good things lined up. 2 bad things and 2 numbers podcast. Bruce, what was your good thing?
Oh yeah, I had a good thing. Right. I'm going to tip of the cap to Mike Smith for not quitting on the game when. It was a very quittable game, and it was really, he got bombed for 3 fast goals in 5 minutes and didn't get a lot of help on any of those goals. And after that, he was the one that kept the score from getting embarrassing. That easily could have been 6-0, the way it went. Like, the Oilers really got outplayed, I thought, in all 3 periods. And
they did.
At least the score line didn't get any more embarrassing, even as the actual performance pretty much ranked in that category.
Yeah, the only goal you might have faulted him on was the Brad Hunt point shot, but it did look like it deflected in off Nurse, changed directions.
Oh yeah,
it changed enough that it fooled the goalie, and deflection in the slot on a really, really hard shot.
That was a rocket.
That was a great shot by Brad Hunt.
And I thought live. Sorry, David. I thought live that I saw Smith moving to his left and then trying to close his legs, and I thought that must have hit something on the way in. And the replay they showed about 2 minutes later from the other side of the ice really showed it. And Smith was moving towards the shot, and it changed direction by maybe a foot, and it went right through. And you can't really put that on the goalie. Originally, I thought that's a grade B scoring chance, and you need a save there, but that wasn't really to be saved the way it worked out.
He's a fun goalie to watch, just how he's put so much effort. He's always on the move. He's very frenetic. He's kind of like a 70s or 80s goalie in a lot of ways, just the amount of movement or in more recently, I mean, he's not as acrobatic as Dominic Hasek, but he does have that kind of style where he's moving here, there, and everywhere, and you can just see the intensity like radiating off the guy during the game.
Unfortunately, a little mustard on a couple saves.
Yeah, unfortunately, his teammates didn't pick up on that intensity.
Not at all. This was a very disappointing game for this Oilers fan, just by the lack of not only execution, but it seemed like they just accepted their fate, and I hate that. I'll rage against the dying of the light, and I'm like Mike Smith in that respect. And, still saying go, 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 and there was no goal. There was no nothing.
Yeah, that's for sure. So my good thing was the one other guy who I thought was radiating intensity was Brandon Manning. And he's got every reason to because William Lauguson's still here and could be in the lineup at any point. But I haven't liked hardly any games that Brandon Manning has played for the Oilers, but I like that one. I thought he was hustling hard all night long, including the play where he went hard to the net and number 6 of the Wild, what's his
Mm-hmm.
name? Made
Yeah, that is
Donato.
Ryan Donato.
He made one of the dumbest plays I think I've ever seen. And in one of the most dangerous plays, he could have easily injured Brandon Manning, and he did injure his own goaltender. So the only excuse you could make for Donato is maybe he slipped or he didn't intend, but it looks like he just tried to essentially leg whip Manning and take him down as he was going to that, tackle him from behind. It was a terrible play, and I hope Devin Dubnyk is okay because it totally wiped out his own goalie. Like, what a ridiculous play. And the ref got it exactly right, calling a penalty. But that came through Brandon Manning's hustle. It was one example, and he was generally okay moving and handling the puck as well. So Brandon Manning, that was my good thing.
The only penalty that the Oilers actually drew in the game, the other power play was a puck over glass thing. They just weren't forcing enough. And on the odd time that they did, the refs sure weren't noticing. And I'm going to whine very briefly about the time Ryan Suter put a stick between Connor McDavid's legs, reefed on it, and McDavid went corkscrewing into the corner boards doing a 720 double circle. And somehow neither Mr. Referee happened to pay attention at the time. That was a bit much. But that was, that was kind of symptomatic of a very poor night for Mr. McDavid generally, but that should have been called.
10 games into the season, and I guess interferences again, especially interference on Connor McDavid, is like he was mauled a couple times, and they should just call that. Like, what are they doing? Just call it. And it was quite, and the play on Riley Sheehan, which was kind of a game. The second goal is a big goal. Sheehan got the guy had his arm around him, and then he essentially punched him in the face as he's going by.
He stiff-armed him. It was like a football play, and he stiff-armed him.
That's a penalty as well, and
I was going to pick as my good thing, but I didn't just because Buddy got injured, and I never want anybody to get injured. But
the same
after the same play, when Josh Archibald just came in and lowered the boom on the guy that had just taken down Sheehan, and it was a brutal, hard, but I think legal hit. They weren't calling it anyway. And just hammered him to the ice. Little Josh Archibald, I mean, he probably was outweighed by 20 or 30 pounds, but boy, it was that. And it was sort of instant payback. You push my guy down, I'm going to hit you back. And just as I'm saying, good, good hit, two bad things happened. One, they scored, and the other, Buddy never got up. And like I say, that kind of takes the shine off of.
Yeah, the rough justice.
I don't like seeing guys. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind that he got hammered. I did mind that he got hurt.
When it happened, I was, especially when I realized it was the same guy had roughed up Sheehan, I was actually quite happy that had happened, if I'm completely honest. But then again, no, I don't want to see anyone get hurt either. But he had it coming. All right.
He had the hit coming, yeah.
He did. What's your bad thing, Bruce?
Can I have a list? Like, can I narrow it down to the top, say, 1,000? Oh, man, I think I'm going to have to pick out one play where it looked like the Oilers actually had something going.
Yeah,
and they had their third or fourth line or whatever. One of the lines that never scores was on the ice.
Archibald was on the ice.
Archibald made a nice pass to Kara, I think it was, and Kara made a nice pass to Klefbom. And here they have these 2 or 3 plumbers going to the net, and Klefbom's got the puck on the top of the left face-off circle, and rather than shoot for the net and hopefully it hits somebody and goes in, or there's a rebound or pile up or something, Klefbom decides, well, let's make it fancy and try and pass to someone else who actually isn't anywhere around, and he just shoots it blindly behind everybody into the corner and up the boards. And it was kind of similar to that pass Josh Archibald made about 2 weeks ago when he passed it between McDavid and the goalie, and the play went the other way in the net. Now this time, to his credit, Klefbom came flying back at 100 miles an hour to at least try and make a defensive stop on the guy, and on the guy who got the breakaway after the brutal play. And all he succeeded in doing was tripping the guy and going to the box, and the penalty kill lasted 6 seconds before it was in the net. So effectively, it wound up costing Edmonton the third goal, and it was lights out after that. But
You know,
just, I don't know where he was, what he had in mind there. Like, and pick your spots for those fancy passes. I mean, which goal scorer are you passing it to on that line? Riley
yeah.
Shane? You
You know,
know?
he's a funny player, Bruce, in that like I don't can you have inconsistent hockey IQ? Because some nights he just
Yeah.
like tonight he just seemed to make bad decision after bad decision. That was the most flagrant one probably. But there was a number of times where just think where you're watching him and it's not easy to discern what he was thinking. He's out of position,
Turnover.
turnovers, defensive breakdowns, and it just seems like. But then other games when you watch him, he seems just so on the ball and crisp and making all the plays. And maybe it's a matter of some kind of concentration issue in different games. But that's how he seems to me. He's kind of inconsistent. I don't think it's effort because he always seems to be trying. It's more like inconsistent focus. All right. My bad thing, Bruce, was another example of inconsistent focus. And we've been praising Leon Draisaitl to high heavens. The whole hockey world has, including Craig Button, the noted Oilers detractor, although since Ken Holland has taken over, has been changing his tune on the Oilers considerably. He recently on Toronto radio was saying that Draisaitl is far better than Austin Matthews. So that was really high praise because especially in Toronto, where they like comparing Austin Matthews to Connor McDavid. But Bruce, on this goal, the bad thing is on this game, Draisaitl first he got beat on the boards. He was covering, I think, for Nurse, and then the guy he was covering went to the net and scored. But it wasn't just Draisaitl who dropped the ball there. Both Matt Benning and Zach Kassian could have taken the player going to the net, and they were all watching the puck, attracted to the puck, as was Darnell Nurse, who was playing the puck. And it just ended up, I think it was deflected off deflected off Nurse, just whipped across the crease. And that was the first goal for Stahl and the Minnesota Wild. So three guys, Draisaitl, Kassian, and Benning, all had plays on him on Stahl going to the net, and they all were. Draisaitl was just lagging, and the other two were focused on the puck and missed the guy, the danger man. Not good.
Yeah, well, that goal, that was a strange play. Like it actually started out really well. There was two nice passes in Oilers territory, and Leon made a very nice backhand pass out of his zone, and the Oilers came rushing up ice, and it was looking like something. And then Nurse made a pass into somebody's skates, and it came the other way. And Draisaitl is the guy back trying to cover for Nurse. Well, have you ever seen a forward trying to play defense that doesn't know what he's doing? You know how bad they can look? Well, that's how Leon looked on that play. Because what they do is instead of going with the play, they lunge at the guy and try and steal the puck off him like they were attacking him in the other end of the ice.
Yes, yeah.
And he lunged at the guy and he got beat bad, and it just went downhill quickly from there.
Bruce, what is your number tonight?
Oh man, it quickly does math in head. 152 minutes and 38 seconds. The
Okay.
amount of time since the Oilers last scored a friggin' goal. I mean, come on. They couldn't even score in the shootout, for goodness sake.
Oh, I was so hoping that a
Uh,
third line guy would pop a goal or a fourth line guy would finally, get that monkey off their back. Like Yurcho, score a
Nothing.
goal, man. What, like, Patrick Russell, put one in. Sheehan, one of these guys, score, just score.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my opening to the game grades is the question all along has been who's going to score when McDavid and Draisaitl cool down, and the answer is apparently nobody.
Well, even Neil, boy, he came close. That shot by Nugent Hopkins off the post.
Uh,
That would have been 3-1, and the Oilers actually would have been kind of back into the game at that point.
that was Stalock was just in the game. He hadn't had a warm up or anything. The penalty, they got the power play, they won the face off, they made a nice play, set up a real good shot by Nuge, and he hammered it off the post and into Stalock's feet. It easily could have bounced off of the goalie and in, but nope. And
Yeah.
then the rest of that power play absolutely sucked. man, they couldn't get over the blue line, David. I don't know what's happened. Like the last two games on the road trip, they played against the 31st best penalty kill in the league and the 31st best home penalty kill in the league, playing in their home ice. So you would think these are two teams that are maybe slumping penalty kills that our powerful power play should really be able to take advantage of. And honestly, I thought I mean, they only got 4 power plays in 2 games, so we're talking about the real tiny sample size. But none of the power plays was any damn good at all. They just couldn't even set up. They couldn't get over the blue line. So, anyway.
And so not only were special teams a problem, where they got outscored 1-0. Even strength, Bruce, the scoring chances were 13-1. 13-1. Whoa. So they need to they're missing Nygaard and Haas, I think, their speed. They're missing, and it'd be nice to have. I think, I don't know if Pearson's healthy again, but they need Manning's he was my player of the game, or the good guy, but they're better off with a puck mover with Klefbom. Like at least one more puck mover
in the lineup. They switched Bear over. They switched the D partway through.
I didn't like that at all.
Bear, he had a real rough game. He looked like a rookie tonight. They kept getting in behind him, in tight to the net, kind of what happened to him a lot in his call-up 2 years ago, where crafty guys like Zach Parise, and got between him and the net. And that's bad news, and it happened more than once. But, he was one of many Oilers that did not look good in this game.
So
Nygaard's had its moments, but...
Yeah. Nygaard's a while away, I guess. He's still another week or
2 to 4 weeks, they said originally.
Yeah, okay. And Haas is in the minors, and Pearson might, though, be back sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, those were the 3 guys, the 3 wild cards that Ken Hull and the Oilers brought over from Europe to help bolster the lineup, and they've all 3 of them already disappeared. Hopefully they'll be back, but for now, none of them is out there. I mean, they're not even playing. So.
And I'm not loving Archibald's game. That hit aside, I think he's been the weakest of the Oilers' regular forwards. Sheahan, I think I have liked, actually. I think he's been playing well. I think Jujhar Khaira has been playing really weak hockey, and I would like to see him in the press box for a game or two. He just needs to.
He needs to get his head involved. I'm seeing lots of some good plays. Like he's got some ability, and he'll win some battles. But man, does he make clangers, and he makes them too often.
Granlund hasn't been impressive, so yeah. Too bad Nygaard got hurt, because I of the newcomers, like I really liked his game. I really do like his game. He's fast and he's aggressive and he's skilled. So I'd like to see what he could do. So here we go, Bruce. We'll see where this season goes. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Fortunately, Bruce, they are 7 wins and 3 losses for the month so far. Is this it for the month? Any more games this month?
Yeah. We're only at the 22nd, so we got a few more.
Oh, what am I saying?
24th.
I'm a week ahead.
This is game number 10, and so we're at 7-2-1, which is exactly where the Oilers were after 10 games in 2016-17, and they were actually 1 point ahead of that pace going into tonight's game. But this was a very lackluster performance and effort, and a very discouraging game, a boring game to watch. That really was not a fun game to watch.
No, it wasn't. We've had some great ones this year.
I can't complain overall, but tonight I'm complaining.
We probably had 3 or 4 really great games to watch, and we probably had, obviously the other wins were good to watch. I don't think any of the losses were too much fun. All right, let's leave it there, Bruce. Thanks for talking tonight.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.